The following podcast is a part of RadioMisfits.com. And now it's time for the Mr. Nailsin Show. This is a Nailsin News Bulletin. A school teacher told her student that she was having sex with, that she would leave her husband for him. Wow, that sounds serious. Beyond just the criminality of it all. Yeah. Heather Mashburn Smith, 37, gave a full post-Miranda confession about having sex with a boy while admitting she knew he was just a teenager. Well, yeah, she was his teacher, so yeah. Well, the pair had chatted over Snapchat, with it turning flirtatious after the 17-year-old student told his teacher she was pretty. Well, let's take a look at the mugshot. Oh, dear God. Well, you know, mugshots, no one's at their best. Maybe dolled up, but good Lord, she's got 2 booger rings, and well, you know, anyway, the teen started making extra trips to Mashburn Smith's classroom in Port Charlotte High School, where they eventually kissed and had sex at least twice. During the disturbing tryst, the teacher complained about her marriage and told the boy she wanted to leave her husband for him when he turned 18, the legal age of consent in Florida. Well, that concerned the boy. It's like, hey, wait a minute. Who stopped chatting and blocked his teacher, who kept messaging him on chat. Mashburn Smith then admitted it all to cops, saying that she made a mistake. She admitted she knew the student was just a teenager. Right, you were his teacher. You're a high school teacher, so anyway. But said he made her feel desired. Yeah. I guess for some reason the husband doesn't really desire her as much anymore or something like that. But anyway, the educator was charged with unlawful sexual activity with minors, which carries a maximum sentence of 30 years in prison. What this woman has done is not just unlawful, it is damaging to the students and staff around her, Charlotte County Sheriff Bill Prummel said. To the staff around her? Well, I mean, it is embarrassing for the profession, I suppose, yeah. And everyone's going to make jokes about us doing it, too. Yeah, that's going to happen. Anyway, she was also suspended from Port Charlotte High School. The actions of this individual are a direct violation of the duty every educator owes to students and families. Charlotte County Public Schools Superintendent Mark Vianello. We will not tolerate anything that compromises student safety. This individual has been placed on administrative leave, so you know we're serious about it, as we work closely with law enforcement and pursue all accountability. Well, you see, this is where again, power of teachers unions. I think if she had been a secretary or a counselor, get out of here. Because even, all right, so innocent till proven guilty and all that. She hasn't had her trial yet or anything. But she's confessed. And they got, I assume there's screenshots of this. Yeah. That's all going to disappear, right? How many of these stories have to go? And you still think that, But anyway, there's enough there, not the least of which is her own confession. So she should be fired immediately, More times than not in these stories, it's the disgraced teacher who says, yeah, I'm resigning. It's like, it's crazy, but that's the way it goes. Retired TNLEO. If I were in high school and were a tapping dat, I don't think I would be thinking about anything long term. 7-minute sessions separated by a few weeks would be sufficient. Those nose rings put her at about 2.0 to 2.5 on the 1 to 10 scale. And I sure would not be bragging to my buddies. Yeah, it doesn't indicate that he did. I'm assuming that's how it got out, but I don't know. Anyway, Stacey Abrams' bicycle seat. Dude, she's not even a 2. Agree. Well, you don't agree. He was saying she is. He says the nose rings put her at about a 2. Which I guess if she didn't have the nose rings, she'd be less, or she'd go up a few points. But, Look, she did a horrible thing. It's not nice to make fun of one's appearance and everything, but this is part of the punishment, you bitch, So, that's nasty. So anyway, there you go. She got caught. She said, yeah, I did it. I just wanted to feel wanted. And I guess he did for a minute or two, Yeah, I mean, he's saying like, hey, she came after me. And, she had her eye on this one, So I don't know that you can argue. She's this vulnerable, lonely woman. Life didn't turn out the way she hoped. The husband doesn't even look at her anymore, and that kind of thing. And she's surrounded by all these young teenage boys. Plus, her own high school life wasn't all that exciting. She was probably overlooked and ignored and stuff like that. And so now she's living out those fantasies. But then she starts, when you're 18, we can be together. And he's like, whoa. Well, I guess I'm going to have to tell people about this. And there you go. It's kind of sad, really. But, stop banging your students. You just can't do that. But you did. Now you're facing 30 years. Well, good luck with that. This has been a Nailsin News Bulletin. You're listening to the Mr. Nailsin Show here on RadioMisfits.com. This is your ass. This is your ass in prison. Any questions? This has been a public service announcement reminding you that if you do the crime, you will do the time. Hard time. In our previous episode, the Exterminator's Deathmobile went careening off the bridge into the water below, with Bugman still attached to the Deathmobile as well. After a while, all is quiet, when suddenly... Gotta reach the bank.
Oh, dear God. That was almost it. That was almost the end of me. Huh? That noise. Of course. I recognize it, since I'm the one who designed it. The sound of my ever-trusting bugmobile on the way here.
Hey, Bugman!
Critter, what are you doing in there?
I don't know. I got into the bugmobile after I lost track of you and Exterminator, and I was sitting there minding my own business when all of a sudden the car came to life and took off. I was scared, didn't know what to do, and I almost teleported out when suddenly I saw you here on the bank, and I realized you must have called the car to you.
For once, you guessed correctly, Critter. Yes, in the conflict with the Exterminator, I hit my remote control device in my belt to summon the bugmobile to my location. Because I figured I'd probably need it. However, since you already guessed that, you shouldn't have been so terrified, you idiot, when it would have been obvious as to what was happening when the bugmobile came to life all on its own.
Yeah, I can't do nothing right.
Which is why you will always let me do the thinking.
Well, you mean you're the one who let Exterminator get away?
What? No, I didn't.
Well, I don't see him.
That's because he's currently at the bottom of the river, you idiot.
What's he doing down there?
Because he lost control of his vehicle and went crashing off the bridge into the drink and sunk down below. Of course, I was able to escape.
And you just left him down there?
You're damn right I did. It's a fitting end for his kind, Critter.
Huh. Yeah, I guess so. But, what's all that crap floating in the water?
What are you talking? Wait a minute. I believe those are the remaining bullets, or rather plastic darts, the likes of which the Exterminator used to house his chemical toxins that turn people's faces into skulls, killing them almost instantly.
Well, no, that shit could get into the water supply and everybody's gonna turn into skull faces.
Don't be an idiot, Critter. There's enough water in the river to easily dilute the chemicals within those capsules. However, I must collect samples and study the nature of this poison that the Exterminator created, if for nothing else, scientific curiosity, but also to have yet another trophy in my conquests of evil.
Wait a minute. If you need to study it, that means you don't know what the hell you're talking about. How do you know the river's enough to dilute it so it's harmless? You don't know that.
No, shut up. It's all right, it's a guess, but it's an educated one besides. Do you really want to go down there and recover his whole car and all that crap and then try to hunt down every stupid capsule that might have dislodged from his collection? I don't think so. I'm tired. Let's go home.
Well, yeah, all right.
This is Nightly News Nightly with Richard Shake Shack.
Good evening. I'm Richard Shake Shack. Tonight, our top story concerns the ongoing reign of terror of that notorious serial killer, the Exterminator, as word has come in from authorities that he struck again, this time at the home of reputed crime lord Boss Smuggley. Smuggley himself has been reported to have died in the conflict along with several of his own bodyguards. Also in this matter was reported that Bugman also came into the conflict. Both Bugman and the Exterminator's whereabouts remain unknown. It just goes to show the grip of terror that citizens must suffer at the hands of monstrosities of the like of Bugman and the Exterminator. For Bugman, it's not a clear case of any murder, but certainly in the case of the Exterminator, there can be one made in several of these murders of recent times. since this costumed coward gleefully gloats about his murders as if it's all a silly game, a hobby for him to enjoy, while the rest of us must live in absolute terror. Well, no more. He must be brought to justice. Now, this time, of course, the victim was Boss Smugly. But Smugly is an American citizen who deserved his date in court to be proven guilty of his suspected crimes. In the meantime, I did call the Exterminator a coward, and I stand by it. After all, I'm not wearing a mask, but he is.
Boy, did Dick Shakeshaft pick the wrong night to mess with the Exterminator, so I've had just about enough of it. So, tonight, at midnight, Richard Shakeshaft will breathe his last. The Exterminator has spoken.
Oh no, the Exterminator's still alive! Bugman!
Don't shout my name is Bugman in my home. Neighbor might hear, you idiot.
But Bob, I just saw on the news the Exterminator made another threat. He's still alive!
What? Well, who'd he threaten this time?
That newsman guy, Richard Shakeshaft. Of course, he called him Dick Shakeshaft.
Good Lord. Well, at least we know his next target, so that should make it easy for us to find him and confront him. Otherwise, we'd have to hunt him down.
Yeah, and that wouldn't be easy, because we don't know who the hell he really is.
No, Critter. I believe I know exactly who the Exterminator truly is.
Well, is this true? Has Bob Finger, who is in reality Bugman, truly discovered the secret identity of the Exterminator? Well, perhaps we'll find out in the next exciting episode of Bugman.
Bugman was written, produced, and performed by me, Douglas Nailsin. Music came courtesy of Kevin MacLeod and other public domain sources. This is a Nailsin News Bulletin.
A notorious vagrant known as the Pee-Pee Poo-Poo Man has been arrested on horrifying new charges. I mean, what did he do now, you know? That's all kind of sad, because the nickname sounds like a delightful little jingle, you know? Watch your step around the Pee-Pee Poo-Poo Man, the Poo-Poo Man, the Poo-Poo Man. See? That's kind of catchy. Yeah. Well, let's see what this crap is all about. Deviant, who terrorized Toronto with a series of vile poop bucket attacks in 2019, has been arrested in connection with 2 alleged sexual assaults. Is anyone surprised? Yeah. Samuel Opoku, 30, a vagrant whose grotesque fecal assaults earned him the nickname the Pee-Pee Poo-Poo Man in a 2024 indie film chronicling the malodorous crime spree, was picked up May 12th and charged with 2 counts of sexual assault and indecent exposure. Well, I imagine the indecent exposure could come about as plying his skills in pee-pee and poo-poo. Well, in the first incident, a group of women were walking on the sidewalk when he approached them and made sexual advances toward one of the women, grabbing her forearm. He then allegedly sexually assaulted her and fled. A day later, Opoku followed a woman into a commercial office building and allegedly sexually assaulted her after approaching her from behind before running away again. Cops said neither victim knows Opoku and did not sustain injuries. Oh, all right. Court documents confirm the suspect is the same man previously busted for the fecal attacks, according to Toronto Today. Opoku's earlier flush, get it, with the law came after he was arrested for throwing buckets of liquefied feces at 5 random people in Toronto in 2019 in a series of attacks that even turned the stomachs of seasoned police veterans. A young girl had a bucket of waste feces dumped on her. Police Constable David Hopkinson said at the time, according to the Toronto Star, "I don't know what to say. I'm at a loss. This is absolutely disgusting." Yeah. Yep. One of the attacks happened outside the University of Toronto around midnight when he dumped a bucket filled with liquid waste all over an unsuspecting woman. Days later, he entered the school's John P. Robarts Library armed with another bucket of excrement, which he poured on 2 people who were seated at a table. He attacked 5 people in the same horrifying manner over 4 days, including 3 women, 1 man, and a child, according to CBC. Opoku was charged with 5 counts of assault with a weapon and 5 counts of mischief interfering with property. His lawyer argued his client was suffering from mental health problems, and he was released after just 3 weeks in custody on $1,000 bail. He returned to court in December 2019, but the conclusion of his case was not known. You let him go, didn't you? You let him go. Yeah. You let the poo-poo man go. Going Home says, "Why is it that we rarely hear the victim's relative or friend reacted in a physical manner to such events?" Max Meadows, "Because they have more rights than anyone else. That's why. Retaliate and you go to jail, not them." Max probably has a good point here. It's Canada, after all, and it's increasingly possible here, certain in blue states, that this sort of thing could occur. Yeah. "You hit this man. He threw a bucket of shit on me. You're going to jail." You know, it's his artistic expression, dealing with his depression. You know, something like that. You know, how else are you going to deal with a bucket of shit? Well, there you go. Pee-pee poo-poo man became a sexual assaulter, you know. If only there were some clue as to this would happen at some point, that it would escalate beyond the buckets of shit. Well, he primarily targeted women. I mean, yeah, I know they said there was a guy there, but he was dumping the shit on top of people from above and stuff like that. So he just got caught in he's collateral damage, you know. He wasn't the target. It was women and girls. So eventually, you know, when he couldn't find a bucket handy, he was going to take the next step. And it appears he has. Will they deal with this current hobby of his, you know, sexually assaulting women? Eventually it's going to be full-on rape. You know that, don't you? And eventually murder. Will they stop it before it gets to that? No. No, they will not. Because he's dealing with issues, you know? Right. So anyway, good luck with that. Probably be hearing more from Pee-pee Poo-poo Man.
This has been a Nailsin News Bulletin. The views and opinions expressed during the Mr. Nailsin show do not necessarily reflect those held by RadioMisfits.com. So, any complaints and or comments should be sent to @Mr. Nailsin on Twitter, where they will be promptly ignored and or blocked.
Look out! Fire!